Hi, this is going to be the first video that's going up from me in a long time, and I have no expectations except to sort of learn a little bit about getting a video back up to YouTube channel. And if you're going to stay along this journey or click subscribe, I can tell you quickly right out of the gates what's going to happen or what you're going to get. There's a timeline of a family journey of trying to manifest a dream, which was starting an animal care business, holding events that brought the community together, and we shared that. You'll see videos over a 3-year timeline that sort of demonstrated some of that. From here forward, once a week, I am driven to explore with your help what I believe is at the core of every human being in our search for meaning and compassion and connection, which is tied to the tagline of the clothing project. I'm not trying to sell you anything right here. I am trying to create a community again, tied to a Facebook page and our Instagram accounts, and eventually the events that are hopefully leaning us into the right direction. Never at a time in history have we been more divided. I grew up in a home myself, maybe you can relate to this, where on one side was blue dog Democrats, and the other side was fiscally responsible Republicans. I've been raised where it was Missouri against Arkansas for team sports. I have seen the essence of America from the North and the South historically take the same sort of propagated sense of division the entire time, with media itself helping to divide that. Okay, in late 2017, during a part of my journey that I don't think I'm going to share on this video because I'll try to keep this to 12 minutes. They say to keep them to 7 or 8 or you're going to lose people, and I'm verbose. So I got to speak louder and I got to speak fast and do them regular. Once a week is what you'll get, give or take. I'm not going to do 3 videos every day and then disappear. This is a journey of watching a dream come to reality again. And my hope, my deep hope, is that we actually encourage conversations and inspire change by specific call to actions week to week. I don't have the first assignment for you yet, but you'll get a little bit of my heart. And that's the biggest asset I've got to give to the world. Okay, well, where have I been? Who am I? My name is Jared. I'm an entrepreneur, and I was a co-founder of something called Soul Gava. For anybody new, this means, it has a derivation that means soul, sun, Gava, gift. A beautiful name, right? The quick story of how I heard it when I was brainstorming with the mother of my children, co-founder of Soul Gava, was I knew that it would be wide open to build an essence. It was an idea, finally. It was an idea about transformation and natural healing from a guy who had medicated myself through pop culture and escapism of 1,000 forms, including substance abuse and a prescription addiction that was 13 years, the toughest thing that I had to handle. And I've still had things that I've had to handle through the course of the start of this journey. But we set out on a course with some specific ideas, and those ideas, after a 3.5-year hiatus, guys, are coming back to fruition. I don't know if you believe in destiny, fate. I was looking into free will and determinism and all these angles just this week. I'm a philosopher at heart. But the common thread to me, at its core, means that you watching, this neighbor, my children in Sweden right now, my in-laws, the neighbors that we love or despise, the Somalians, my local hometown here, the fundamental, my first cousin, Dirk, who's a fundamental preacher and running for Congress, state Congress, to my friend Josh, who's a musician in Fayetteville, who is an atheist. Okay, I'm not name dropping last names. Nobody will even really know what I'm talking about. Point is, I believe that at our core, we all hold the same principles dear to us. Some of these that I've explored on Facebook are kindness through other people's feedback. One day when I can get our subscriber list up and more than a few people watch this, and there will be, because I'm going to be consistent. We're going to get better at engaging. I'm going to do some on the go, occasional live ones, and it's going to be tied to a journey of transformation that I believe can inspire and encourage the world to get a little better. I'm going to dare to be authentic. and I'm going to dare to stay consistent, and I'm not afraid to fall down and to look dumb along this journey. I'm not here for fame or, our purpose behind Solgave is to actually believe that we can all become more connected in a very fragmented and fractured world today. And I am the greatest example. So when I talk, it's from my personal experience. So here's what you'll see on the channel. Some interviews with people that will sit across from me, and we will share stories about fears, what I'm calling the newsfeed of the mind, but it has a little interpretation because of Facebook and Twitter and the newsfeed that we choose based on what we click. Right wingers see fear, see this stuff, left wingers see this, and we just do this, and we've gone off. We're seeing each other, we're judging all the time. My white light moment with my children was this. I'm watching Democrats do things that I weren't on my list that we were creating, of courage, kindness, compassion, curiosity, what I'm calling the force, if we use Star Wars terms, and the dark side. You can say love and fear, but that maybe gets misinterpreted. So these are elements that would be driven by divine, the great unknown, the good within us, the God within us, whatever you want to say. My list so far is kindness, courage, compassion, curiosity, selflessness. You can be gentle but firm. Boundaries are important on the good side, right? It's actually the good side when we have a calm inner and strong self to say, no thank you, I don't want that. Or, I deserve that, I'd like that. Or would you help me with that? All of these principles I could put in a box. Republicans have these, many. Democrats, Buddhists, atheists, agnostics. What I'm getting at is this tagline right here, the common thread, the essence of this brand, Solgava. It's not a dogma. It's not New Age, and it's not European, and it's not American, it's not esoteric Christian, even though I have or esoteric Buddhism, even though these are some of my favorite things to study. It's what I believe is within all of us. And you guys are starting to tell me. So on this channel, you're going to see some interviews with people, or I'm going to be able to talk about conversations I've had that week if they're not willing to go on camera. Because what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling is exciting, that we all want the same thing. So then where's the division and why the divide? The opposite side, let me just see if you agree with me, and I'm continuing to call out the list with people in real time. Contempt, greed, envy, the 7 deadly sins. It's the jealousy, it's the... See, anger is not there, because anger can be okay. Stop hurting that man, you know? Damn it, you've hurt my feelings again by belittling me. That's actually in the principle of good. Do you see? We're not talking, this isn't just all warm and fuzzy, we're talking principles of the force. Let me stay Star Wars. The dark side is, you're a piece of shit. You're a bad father, you're a bad mother, you dress ugly. These are the kind of things that bullies do. Then it leads to suicides for kids. Against we see racist remarks in this category, against same-sex people. It's the ugly part of the psyche. It judges, it condemns, it pities. Oh, I'm here, and they're there. Aren't we nice for taking care of them? That's actually a dark side element. It's not part of the force group, because the force just knows we're all the same, and if we need to help them, we will. But I'm not better than them because I need to help them. Do you see what I'm saying? Common thread, all the same. I felt this my whole life, and I have a lot of weak spots to work through myself. Arrogance, pride at times. Confidence can be mistaken for arrogance. I have had blind spots to self-destructive tendencies that I have to continue to be mindful of. There's the animal inside of us that I continue to learn. I've learned a better approach for myself, but we have a primal cortex part of the brain, follow me on this philosophical journey, and what I believe is the divine essence within us. This right here behind the eyes, when you look, I love this experiment. I might do this on this channel. In fact, I think I'm going to. I'm taking notes tonight. I'm trying to get my life organized. This is going to go on a blog. I don't care if anybody sees this. It's going to create and curate a way that I can explore a great channel for Socratic, bring you along the journey of this business venture or altruistic vision I'm calling the Socratic Project, that includes rope elements, alternative therapists, horse whisperers, animal whisperers, and we're coming together in a big plot of land and helping people connect, from corporations and leaderships to hospital schools. Guys, uncomfortable? You're probably thinking he looks really tired. I perpetually look tired. I've had a young child and I've moved across the world 8 times, and that's going to be me. Just recognize that. When you sit, and I was told in a YouTube video I just watched, and I'm not doing this now, so I'll get better at this, so I can look at you. When you sit quietly for 4 minutes across from somebody, that experiment, you diffuse everything and you go straight to the heart. You go straight to the common thread. It's taken 9/11, it's taken Katrina, it's taken the Joplin tornado, it's taken massive atrocities for us to go, oh yeah, that neighbor that annoyed me, or the Muslim brown-skinned guy, to find unity in these little pockets of time. I believe it's there in all of us. I'm going to challenge Christians, challenge Muslims, challenge atheists. I want to get to the core. Do you agree with these things we're writing out on paper? And let's get the list in this journey. I'm going to take you through once a week. I got a clothing project. This is how I'm going to hopefully get a living going. I've got kids in Sweden, and I've got an animal care company that I'll tell you why we're buying back, how I'm buying back, and what portal and time open to make that possible. It's a holistic animal care with monthly events where we get to bring the public together in a non-judging way out in beautiful parts of nature. And now I get to talk once a month about the concept behind the common thread and challenge and inspire the people that come to those events, linking up with schools, and I'll get to those ideas later. This is about a belief that we have at Solgava, a belief I've had my entire life. We are driven and we are connected by the principles of love, the force, the stay in Star Wars. And if you sit beside or look into the eyes of somebody for 4 minutes without a word, you'll melt every time, because the data that's been imprinted by my parents, my friends growing up, have a big one, whoever you hang around with, whatever's the news feed of your mind, it's got us really scared of each other, you guys. Scared inside ourselves. Follow me on this channel and hit subscribe. I'm going on a journey. I did it abroad last year. Nobody knows where I was or what I was doing. I'll tell you more about that next week. This gets the channel up and going. And the next one, I want to have a call to action to just encourage you guys to try something that gets you out of your comfort zone. I've chosen courage over comfort most days abroad. It was not an easy experience for me, but I'm most grateful for that, because the things that aren't easy allow us to grow. Stay with me. This is about my own search for meaning. This is about coming back to America on a family dream we call Solgava, that is about natural healing and connections to people, because we have fragmented our mind, body, and spirit by medications and profiting of hospitals, and God, we've lost ourselves in the news feed of our cell phones and all of that. We need to get back to the core of who we are. Keanu Reeves believes we're in a time of waking up, and so do I. All ancient texts are telling us the same thing. If we look behind the surface, if you get behind the exoteric reading of the Bible, that divides everybody. The fundamentalists have one view that's divisive, and then the atheists have another that's divisive. There is a deeper philosophical meaning that at least you could explore. It's the one that has made sense to me over my life. The allegories, the metaphors, the beautiful wisdom. Take that or leave it. The principles that you call the good principles, I think I agree too. So if you don't have blind allegiance to Trump, and I don't have blind allegiance to Obama, maybe we can start rooting for the right politicians, and maybe we can start getting the right leaders to run our country, and maybe we'll stand up against principle and not blind allegiance to the Jaguars or the Cowboys or the Razorbacks, all right? Guys, we are at a time in history where waking up has never felt more important. I'm on a journey of awakening. This is about a family business and a dream of mine that I want to see come to fruition in something called the Socratic Project, and I think it can happen in 18 months. If you follow me along 1 week at a time, I promise to inspire and encourage you to the best of my ability. And my hope is each of those weeks to not be me talking, but to sit across a person, either through Skype, through people in Sweden and Norway where I'm deeply connected, or people I'm meeting on Instagram all over the world who are willing to meet with me. And I will share those interviews on this channel once a week to get to the root of, is my feeling right that everybody, all of us, want to live by these principles, and the universe reinforces those. By our heart feeling, goosebumps in our skin, the universal message of language, the tribal beats. So why the division? Why do some of these dogmatic approaches or schools of thoughts, even skepticism, divide us? News channels and all of that today. This is the conversations I want to share with you once a week. Follow along, and I will promise to get. I'm going to set it this. I'm closing out here. Next week it will be an interview format with somebody else for at least a portion of this, because that's what I want to explore. And then that will lead to the 5-year anniversary pack walk of the animal care business. I'll give you some insights into how and why that's happening. It's pretty exciting for me, and I think it's going to be a big deal for my family. And then I'll talk to you more about Sogave healing and why my life story has made this journey so important. I say this and it sounds so fucking cliche, die for these principles. I just would, you know. I'm a patriot. At my heart, a very flawed man, but a patriot for not a country and not a politician, but principles. And this is what I think we all are aspiring to do. So thank you for hitting subscribe. I won't be verbose. I will try to get it down to 10 minutes on every video so it can be regular and weekly, and go from there. Thank you.